While the start of the new year is a time when many people start a new endeavor, sometimes it has an impact on those around them. Our next speaker will share his recent experience with this and how he reacted to it. Please welcome Charlie with his speech, "It's a New Year."
It's my fault. I really should have known better. What in the world was I thinking? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests. Sunday, January 2nd, I decide I'm going to go to the gym and have a workout. It's been closed for 2 days. I'm already off schedule. Now's my chance to get caught up. And as I walk around the corner and I look into the gym, I see them. They're there. They're hordes. The resolutioners. The resolutioners. These are the people who have decided for the new year that they're going to get in shape. And they're everywhere. Now, my first inclination is to just turn around and leave. I've been here before. This is not going to be a happy day for me. But I decide to stay. And now, as I try to work around the gym and work around the people, I'm now getting a little bit annoyed. Now, this is not typical for me. You know, Steve will say, oh, little things bothered him. But it's just the opposite for me. But now, as I try to work around the resolutioners, I find myself sinking into a pit of aggravation. And I sit there and say, okay, I can't do this. I have to use my discipline and create patience. I can do this. I can make a game of it. And that will keep me from losing my sanity as I try to get in my workout today. So I do that. I said, I'll look and see, who are these resolutioners? And the first thing I notice is there is no dominant demographic of resolutioners. They cover the whole spectrum. So now, let's just take a look, and I watch. Now, the first one that catches my eye is an older man. He's probably around 65. And he's just kind of wandering around the gym and looking at this kind of aimlessly. Every so often, he'll pull on some pulley for no particular reason that I can discern. Okay, that's interesting. But then we come to the middle-aged men. Now, the middle-aged men, they'll sit on the machine and they'll go one mighty push, and then they'll stop. And they'll stare blankly into space for minutes before they do one and stare into space again. Now, after 3 go-arounds of this, they're done. And they carefully get up and they take the pin that selects the weight and they move it down to a higher weight before they get off the machine. Now, I've managed to get on the machine myself. And as I'm on the machine and kind of working out, I notice another fella. And I'll call him the parakeet man. Because what does the parakeet man do? He's looking at himself in the mirror all the time. Flexing a little bit. But every time he does a little exercise, where does he go? Right back to the mirror to look at himself again. So this is an interesting character. But there's more. Now, another interesting thing is the younger folks. Well, what's interesting about the younger folks is the men and the women are the same because they do the same thing. They'll get on the machine, they'll sit down, and immediately they get out their phone and they're typing and they're looking at all over the phone. And they go 1, 2, and then they're back on the phone playing with the phone again, trying to figure out what they're doing. Now, after they go 3 rounds of this, then they get out their water bottle and then they're back on their phone again. But they all have the water bottle. Now, I would be totally remiss as I went around the room and I'm seeing all these folks in the gym if I neglected the middle-aged ladies. Now, they're interesting because they travel in pairs. And when one gets on to the machine, she'll sit there and the other one will get right by, and they talk. And they talk. And they will continue to talk up until the time where the lady who's on the machine decides to get up and leave without ever having moved a single weight on that machine at all in that whole time. Now, I know I sound like some kind of a muscle-bound snob when I say these things. And I shouldn't be. Because these people, they're just out there, they have good intentions. And I can work around and I can adjust my schedule so that I don't have to be in there working with the resolutioners. I can do that. Why? Well, it's only for a month, because at the end of January, they'll all be gone. And it'll just be me and the regulars just doing our normal routine that we normally do. See, it's been my observation that most people's New Year's resolutions only last for about a month. And, you know, perhaps that's because most people do things that they think they should do, as opposed to what they want to do for their resolutions. But I'll put out a challenge to you. How do you do on your New Year's resolutions? Can you go more than a month? In the middle of February, I want you to come see me. Contact me. Tell me how you did on your resolutions. And with a little luck, I could probably turn that into some kind of a pathways project when I do that. Madam Toastmaster.